So for today's video we're going to talk about how you can lock cells in Excel, and I've seen various ways people do this. Sometimes the spreadsheet's so locked you can't actually do anything with it, but sometimes you might have a formula in there and you might want to prevent people from entering data in that cell, so you can lock it, and this is quite a good way of just making sure that people type in particular cells on the spreadsheet. So let's go into Excel and have a look how we do this. So I've got an example here, and let's imagine we were selling seats for a performance, and the number of seats sold is really the only column that people need to change. So for instance, if I sold a few more seats in row A, I could just change that to an 80 and all the figures would change accordingly. But what I don't want, and if you've done any of my courses, and by the way, don't forget to subscribe to our channel or like it if you find these videos useful. If you've done any of my courses, I always advise having a little look around the spreadsheet before you do anything. So I'll have a quick look around here. Just going to use to have a look at the formula. So there's some formula here, there we go, and the first few columns are just data entry. There's a formula there and a formula there. So I begin to see what is data entry, what is manual, and what is made up of formula. And I think it's always a good idea to do that before you start doing anything with a spreadsheet, especially if you're new to it. Anyway, so the point is we want to fix, or we want to unlock these cells in yellow, and I've made them in yellow just so they stand out for you. Basically the rest of the spreadsheet other people don't need to get involved with. Now it's a little bit weird because what you've got to remember, I'm just going to zoom out and you're going to see, I mean, look how many cells we've got. We've got 1,048,000 cells, and that's a lot. I can't freeze all that. So the way Excel works is that you basically tell Excel what you want people to access, and then everything else is locked, which makes sense really, because if you did it the other way around, I'd be highlighting forever or unhighlighting. So I'm going to highlight the cells in column E, so E2 down to E13, and then we're going to come up to the review tab at the top. And the bit I want on the review tab is the allow edit ranges. There it is. So click on allow edit ranges, and because you can have more than one range, so let's say no. Okay, I could give it a name, so I could identify it, so let's call it seats sold, just so I know what I'm dealing with. I could put in a range password. I'm not going to. I'm going to put in an overall password, otherwise I have to kind of remember another password, so we don't want too many layers here, so choose OK. And once I've done that, so it has identified that those cells are available, I'm now going to do the next step. So think of this box as a two-step process. I'm now going to go to the protect sheet option, and this is where you do put a password in if you want to. I mean, I don't have to put a password in, so I could choose OK. Let's see what happens if I don't put a password in. And what will happen is it will still protect the cells. So look, if I click anywhere else, whereas if I click on the yellow ones, okay, but it does mean they can go to the review tab and they can choose unprotect if they wanted to. Now actually, if all you're doing is stopping people making a mistake, probably don't need a password. Just putting it out there, because the only reason people would enter stuff in Excel in other cells is because they've done it by error. So it's not like you're securing something. Anyway, it's up to you. So let's try this again. So we've unprotected it. Let's go back to protect sheet. So I can put a password in if I want. So let's put a password in, and it normally gets you to put it in twice. It's case sensitive. There we go. So here we go. So let's try and alter these figures. So the ones in yellow, they're fine, they're changing, the formula's all updating, and if I click anywhere else on the spreadsheet and try and do something, it won't let me. Just those ones I had highlighted. Now if I want to unprotect it, I go back to the top to unprotect, and then I need to put the password in. Choose OK. If you put the password in, and you forget it, there's no other way you can really get out of it. I suppose you could copy and paste the data, but it's not like a network password that can be unlocked. So really do try and remember the passwords. And it's always a good idea to go back, and this is just sort of good practice, because obviously Excel will remember that yellow range. If I go back to allow edit ranges, it will remember that. So if I ever wanted to, I could just click on protect sheet. I'll just highlight that. So if I click on protect sheet, that's not a very good one, let's do it as a square. Yeah, if I click on protect sheet, it will automatically take into account whatever settings I've done in the allow edit ranges. So really those two buttons work together. And just be aware of that, because obviously if you've allowed ranges and you forget you've allowed ranges and you go back and protect the sheet, it's still going to allow those ranges. So if I didn't want the ranges anymore, let's go allow ranges. I'm going to delete that range, choose apply. OK. And now if I was to protect the sheet now, because there's no ranges accepted, it will just protect the whole file and they won't be able to enter anything. So just to recap, you highlight the information you want them to edit, go to allow edit ranges and make a new range. Okay, and then you go to protect sheet. You can put a password in if you want, or just choose OK, and that will enable you to lock everything apart from the ranges that you've just highlighted. And then to allow people to edit it, is back up the top to unprotect sheet and then clear your ranges in allow edit ranges. So I hope that helps. Just be careful about putting too many passwords in. I sometimes think there's a bit of education here. We don't talk to each other enough about how our spreadsheets look. Maybe you need to speak to your team and say this is where you should be putting the data, this is how it works, because somebody will create those spreadsheets, but it doesn't mean that somebody else actually understands where to put that data. And I think sometimes communication is the key here. But give it a go. If you like my video, please do subscribe, and it'd be lovely to have any comments, and if there's anything else you want me to cover, then put those in the comments as well. Thanks for listening.